Gainbridge Fieldhouse was already buzzing, but when the Indiana Fever crowd began chanting a single name, the building tilted from loud to seismic. Seconds earlier, Caitlin Clark had picked herself off the hardwood for what felt like the 10th time that night, blinking through an eye still watering from a rake across the face. The refs swallowed their whistles. The Connecticut Sun walked calmly away, and every fan in that arena reached the same boiling point. Somebody had to do something. June 18, 2025. Fever versus Sun in Indy. Clark, the WNBA superstar who sells out arenas on name recognition alone, was being mugged on every cut, every dribble. Mid-third quarter, J.C. Sheldon's hand scraped across Clark's right eye. Moments later, Marina Mabrey lowered a shoulder that sent Clark sprawling. The officials issued matching technicals, no ejections, and play resumed as if the face of the league hadn't just been body-checked on national television. Viewers howled, social feeds melted.
This angle is wild, folks. There's the eye gouge. Watch Mabrey. Boom! I mean, come on.
That shrug from the whistle crew wasn't a one-off. Cheap shots have trailed Clark since she began torching college record books. She now leads the WNBA not only in drives per game, but in, "What do you mean that's not a foul?" reactions from fans. Ratings back it up. When Clark missed 5 games with a quad strain earlier this month, league viewership plunged by more than 50%. Protect Caitlin. Protect the bottom line. Yet the calls still weren't coming. Final minute, Fever cruising. Sheldon poked away a steal and streaked for a breakaway layup. Sophie Cunningham, 6'1", Missouri tough, and apparently in possession of a black belt temperament, sprinted the length of the floor.
Sheldon going coast to coast, and here we got another.
She wrapped Sheldon midair, yanked her to the court, then squared up in a stance that said she'd happily elaborate on her decision, with actions rather than words. Benches emptied. The refs finally remembered their whistles, and Cunningham was tossed on a flagrant 2. A brawl, sure, but also a moment the entire basketball world is still unpacking.
I truly think that this was a message that she was sending to the leagues, to the officiating, just like to everybody, because it is, if you are watching any of these games, you are seeing that there is a disparity in the way that it's being officiated, and the Indiana Fever are held to a standard that no other team is held to.
Within minutes, the clip hit X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Pick your battleground. By sunrise, Cunningham trended ahead of MLB scores and most political headlines. Social blade trackers show she added over 1 million TikTok followers in just 72 hours. A jump bigger than any WNBA player has logged in an entire season.
Sophie Cunningham has reached 1 million followers.
Her Fever jersey, gone in hours, sold out online, back-ordered at the Fieldhouse Pro Shop. ESPN pushed 2 mobile alerts, and even fans who couldn't name 3 Fever starters suddenly knew who guarded Clark's back. Virality cuts both ways. Overnight, a Change.org petition titled "Remove Sophie Cunningham from the WNBA for Misconduct" popped up. It collected a few hundred signatures, about the same number of jerseys that vanished in the first 10 minutes of restock. Sophie's response: a quote tweet of an article announcing her merch was sold out, punctuated by a winking emoji. Scoreboard indeed.
But Sophie Cunningham has responded to the petition by just retweeting a freaking post about her jersey being sold out. That is a response. That is quote tweeting the petition. Like, that is the best way of going about it.
Hard fouls aren't new, but context matters. Clark is no longer just a promising rookie. She's the league's economic engine. Front Office Sports noted 2 NBA TV games without her average just 343,000 viewers, down 40% from the previous Fever broadcast she played. Ticket prices swing 2.5-fold depending on her status. If LeBron or Steph endured an eye gouge plus body check combo, security would escort offenders off-site before League HQ even weighed in.
Think if this was LeBron in the NBA. Think if this was Steph Curry in the NBA. Do you really think that the NBA would be allowing certain players in the NBA to go after LeBron the way that Caitlyn was chucked to the ground? Do you think if another player came up, blindsided LeBron, chucked him to the ground after he had just been poked in the eye, that the NBA would be like, oh yeah, technicals, nobody's ejected, just a common technical foul? That would never it would never happen.
In the W, fans increasingly fear the refs will need a neon sign to recognize excessive contact. Basketball lore is full of enforcers, Mahorn with the Bad Boys, Oakley at the Garden, Draymond in the Bay. In the women's game, that role has been rarer and often mislabeled dirty. Cunningham's play was old-school messaging, touch our star and pay retail.
That's a flagrant foul. It's a hard foul.
Crucially, she's not a goon. The former Tiger averages 6+ points, shoots 36% from deep, and hung 21 points in a preseason comeback win last month. She can play, and now she has purpose. League Review upgraded Mabry's bump to a flagrant 2 and added fines. No suspensions were issued. Inside the Fever locker room, teammates felt the jolt. "We found a new gear tonight," veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell told reporters, crediting both Clark's resilience and Cunningham's heat check for the whole roster. Head coach Stephanie White pivoted from blasting officials to praising Sophie's leadership. "She's the calm when we need calm and the spark when we need fire." That duality aligns with Cunningham's preseason vow to be, in her words, the feisty, sassy teammate who's got everybody's back. Brand managers noticed. Sources tell Sports Business Journal that at least 4 national advertisers reached out to Cunningham's camp within 24 hours, exploring everything from social-first partnerships to mid-season sneaker collabs. One veteran agent put it bluntly, "If Kate Martin outsold the league MVP because she was Clark's college buddy, imagine what Sophie can monetize after literally guarding her life." A $1 million endorsement year suddenly feels conservative.
I wonder how much money Sophie Cunningham is going to make on endorsement deals this season, this summer. Like, I think Sophie Cunningham's endorsement deals are going to go into the millions, are going to be in the millions this year. I think they're going to be in the millions this year. Because if you are not only like good in front, like she's good in front of a camera, she is now known as a Caitlin Clark's enforcer.
For the WNBA, it's both opportunity and alarm bell. Opportunity because narrative drives casual viewership, and the Clark vs. World storyline just added a charismatic co-star. Alarm because letting stars absorb unchecked physicality risks derailing the league's meteoric growth. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert promises a holistic officiating review, but fans want swift change, clear flagrant criteria, accountability for missed calls, and, above all, visible protection for the player largely responsible for record highs in eyeballs and ticket sales. Before the viral foul, Cunningham's resume already screamed overachiever. Raised in Columbia, Missouri, she earned a Taekwondo black belt at 6, booted field goals for her high school football team, then became a 3-time All-SEC selection at Mizzou. Drafted 13th overall by Phoenix in 2019, she found daylight as a floor spacer and irritant before January's 4-team trade landed her in Indiana. Off the court, she's unafraid of the spotlight, having moonlighted as a TV analyst breaking down Suns pick-and-roll sets during her Mercury days. Authenticity plus reach, an advertiser's dream. The backlash to Cunningham's foul exposed a culture war inside women's hoops. A vocal camp bristles at the spotlight Clark commands. Another celebrates new viewers but cringes at toxic discourse. When anti-Clark corners of the internet cheered a preseason takedown of Cunningham, then labeled her villain for retaliating months later. Their quick-trigger outrage revealed that allegiance to narrative often outweighs allegiance to consistency. Sophie's embrace of the protector role gives Clark fans, by far the largest single-player fan base in the sport, someone new to rally around. League insiders know credibility now hinges on consistent whistles and player safety. Several owners are lobbying for a Euro-style, unsportsmanlike foul tier that triggers instant video review. The referees union counters that crews need more angles and better scheduling, not added rule layers. Zoom out and Cunningham's emergence could be the hinge moment historians cite when charting the W's leap from niche to mainstream. Every good sports saga needs archetypes: hero, foil, protector, skeptic. Clark writes the jaw-dropping stat lines. Opponents like Angel Reese and Mabry provide the friction. And now, Sophie embodies the old-school glue player for a TikTok age. Her next endorsement deal will underline the shift. Proof the league can sell personality arcs alongside athletic brilliance. Strip away hashtags and highlights, and you're left with a basketball truth. Superstars flourish when teammates set bruising screens, dive on loose balls, and yes, sometimes deliver a hard foul to reset the balance. Cunningham reminded everyone that safeguarding the game's future can look messy in the moment, but pay dividends in the long run. If that lesson sticks, with refs, with rivals, with fans, this week's dust-up may prove as valuable to league growth as any Nielsen metric. So when the camera pans across a raucous Gainbridge Fieldhouse next month, you'll hear a chant that carries more than syllables. It's a promise that the Fever, and the league they're elevating, will no longer accept star treatment that reads like negligence. If that roar rumbles in your chest, congratulations. You've joined the movement. Buckle up. The season just found its plot twist, and it's barreling toward us at full speed.